In a world where public figures are constantly under scrutiny, Jessa Duggar has found herself on the receiving end of criticism regarding her growing family with husband Ben Seewald. With 8 children and expecting their 9th, some critics have taken to social media to accuse the couple of breeding like rabbits. However, Jessa recently took a stand against these comments, defending not only her personal choices, but also shedding light on the deeper issues that often get overlooked in such discussions. As one of the most recognizable members of the Duggar family, thanks to the reality TV show *19 Kids and Counting*, Jessa has lived much of her life in the public eye. Her marriage to Ben Seewald, which began in 2014, has been closely followed by fans and critics alike. The couple's decision to expand their family rapidly has drawn both admiration and harsh judgment from various corners of the internet. Critics argue that having so many children is irresponsible, especially in an age where overpopulation and environmental concerns are hot-button topics. Others question how the couple can financially support such a large family, while some take issue with the religious or cultural motivations behind their lifestyle. These criticisms, however, often fail to consider the nuances of personal choice, faith, and individual circumstances. In response to the backlash, Jessa took to social media to address the rumors and judgments head-on. In a heartfelt post, she emphasized that her family's decisions are deeply rooted in their personal beliefs and values. "We believe that every child is a blessing from God," she wrote. "It's easy for people to sit in judgment without understanding our journey or our faith." She went on to explain that while their family size may seem unusual to outsiders, it's a path they've chosen together as a couple. "Ben and I pray about everything, including our family planning. We feel led to welcome each child into our lives, and we do so with love and intentionality," she added. Jessa also pointed out that parenting styles and family sizes vary widely across cultures and communities. What might be considered excessive in one context could be entirely normal in another. By reducing their choices to a simple comparison to animals breeding like rabbits, critics are not only being disrespectful, but also failing to engage with the deeper meaning behind the couple's decisions. While Jessa remains grounded in her convictions, she acknowledged that constant criticism can take a toll. "It's hard when people reduce your entire family dynamic to a joke or a meme," she said during a recent interview. "Our kids are not just numbers. They're individuals with personalities, dreams, and needs. Every parent faces challenges, and ours are no different." The pressure to conform to societal expectations around family size is something many parents face, particularly those in the spotlight. For Jessa, who grew up in a large family herself, the idea of raising multiple children isn't foreign, it's simply part of her identity. "I was raised in a home with 18 siblings, so this is what I know," she explained. "I see the beauty in big families, and I want my kids to experience that same sense of community and connection." Despite the negativity, Jessa remains grateful for the life she and Ben have built together. "We're happy, our kids are happy, and we're doing our best," she said. "That's all any of us can ask for." At the heart of the controversy is the intersection between faith, personal autonomy, and societal norms. Jessa and Ben's approach to family life is heavily influenced by their Christian beliefs, which emphasize the sanctity of life and the importance of nurturing children within a loving environment. For them, each new addition to the family is seen as a divine gift rather than a burden. This perspective, however, often clashes with more secular viewpoints that prioritize individual freedom and reproductive rights. While Jessa respects differing opinions, she draws the line at personal attacks. "Everyone has the right to their own views," she said. "But when those views turn into insults or mockery, it crosses a boundary." In a culture increasingly focused on minimalism, career advancement, and personal fulfillment, choosing to raise a large family can appear counterintuitive to some. Yet for Jessa and Ben, it's a fulfilling and meaningful way of life. They view parenthood as a calling, one that brings joy, purpose, and spiritual growth. Another common criticism leveled at the couple is financial responsibility. Skeptics wonder how they manage to provide for so many children, especially considering the rising costs of living, education, healthcare, and childcare. But Jessa and Ben have been transparent about their strategies for managing their household. "We budget carefully and live within our means," Jessa explained. "We don't splurge on luxury items or expensive vacations. Our priorities are our kids, our home, and our faith." Additionally, the couple benefits from extended family support, shared resources, and a strong network of friends who understand their lifestyle. Ben, who works in real estate development, has spoken previously about balancing work and family life. He credits open communication and teamwork with allowing them to maintain stability. "We're a team," he said. "Jessa handles a lot of the day-to-day stuff, but we're always in sync when it comes to making decisions for our family." Moreover, the Duggar name carries certain advantages, including brand partnerships and speaking engagements that help supplement their income. While they aren't extravagant, these opportunities allow them to provide comfortably for their children without compromising their values. One of the most frustrating aspects of the criticism, according to Jessa, is the assumption that having many children equates to poor parenting. "People assume that because we have a lot of kids, we must not give them enough attention or care," she said. But that couldn't be further from the truth. She described the daily rhythm of their home life, structured routines, quality time spent together, and intentional efforts to connect with each child individually. "Every night, we have dinner together as a family. We talk, we laugh, we pray. It's important to us that our kids feel heard and loved," she explained. Additionally, the older children play active roles in helping care for the younger ones, fostering a sense of responsibility and sibling bonding. "It teaches them compassion, patience, and leadership," Jessa noted. "These are lessons you can't learn from a textbook." Rather than seeing their large family as chaotic or overwhelming, Jessa views it as a source of strength and unity. "There's never a dull moment, but there's also never a lack of love," she said. Ultimately, Jessa hopes that conversations around family size will shift from judgment to empathy. "Everyone's situation is different," she said. "What works for us might not work for someone else, and that's okay. The key is respecting each other's choices and recognizing that no one has it all figured out." She also encouraged people to think critically before commenting on others' lives. "Before you make a joke or pass judgment, remember that there's a real person behind the screen. Words can hurt, even if you don't intend them to." In a society that often values conformity over diversity, Jessa and Ben's story serves as a reminder that there is no one-size-fits-all approach to family life. Whether large or small, traditional or unconventional, each family dynamic deserves dignity and respect. Jessa Duggar and Ben Seewald continue to navigate the complexities of public life with grace and resilience. While they remain open to dialogue and learning from others, they also draw clear boundaries when it comes to personal attacks. Their commitment to their faith, their family, and each other is unwavering. By standing up for their choices and sharing their perspective, Jessa has sparked an important conversation about autonomy, respect, and the value of diverse lifestyles. In doing so, she reminds us all that love, not numbers, is what truly defines a family. In a recent development that has sparked widespread debate, Jessa Duggar found herself at the center of controversy after photos surfaced showing her one-year-old son, George, sleeping in what appeared to be a closet. The images, shared on social media, quickly gained traction, prompting an outpouring of reactions from both supporters and critics. Many questioned the safety and appropriateness of using a closet as a sleeping space for an infant, while others defended Duggar, arguing that parents should have the freedom to make decisions based on their own parenting philosophies. The discussion quickly escalated beyond the initial shock value, touching on broader themes such as child safety, parental autonomy, and the influence of public scrutiny on personal choices. The backlash was swift, with critics expressing concerns about potential hazards associated with placing a young child in a confined space not typically designed for sleeping. Questions were raised regarding ventilation, accessibility in case of emergencies, and whether the setup met standard child safety guidelines. Some argued that even if the closet was modified to accommodate the child, it still deviated from conventional expectations of a safe sleep environment. Others, however, countered that as long as the space was secure and comfortable, parents should be allowed to determine what works best for their families without judgment. Beyond the immediate concerns about child welfare, the incident also ignited a larger conversation about the role of public opinion in shaping parenting norms. With increasing visibility into celebrity lifestyles through social media, many felt that Duggar's parenting choices were being unfairly scrutinized under an unrealistic standard. This debate highlighted the tension between personal freedoms and societal expectations, particularly when it comes to raising children in the public eye. Child sleep safety experts have long emphasized the importance of creating a secure and appropriate sleeping environment for infants to reduce the risk of sudden infant death syndrome and other sleep-related hazards. According to guidelines from organizations such as the American Academy of Pediatrics, a safe sleep environment includes placing infants on their backs, using a firm mattress with a fitted sheet, and avoiding soft bedding, toys, or any objects that could pose suffocation risks. Additionally, the AAP recommends that babies sleep in the same room as their parents, but in their own separate sleep space, rather than in adult beds or unconventional areas such as closets. Given these well-established recommendations, experts have expressed concern over the idea of a 1-year-old sleeping in a closet. Dr. Rachel Moon, a leading researcher in infant sleep safety, has previously warned against using non-traditional spaces such as couches, armchairs, or small enclosed areas for infant sleep, citing increased risks of accidental suffocation and restricted airflow. While some argue that a modified closet could potentially offer a controlled environment, most professionals stress that cribs or bassinets are specifically designed to meet safety standards, ensuring proper ventilation and minimizing entrapment risks. Furthermore, emergency accessibility is a crucial factor. Parents need to be able to reach their child quickly in case of distress, which may be more difficult in a confined space like a closet. Beyond safety concerns, child development specialists have also weighed in on the psychological implications of a child's sleep environment. A consistent, familiar, and comforting sleep space plays a vital role in fostering a sense of security and routine, which can impact emotional development. While some parents may believe that a smaller, enclosed area provides a cozier atmosphere for their child, experts caution that maintaining a balance between comfort and safety is essential. Ultimately, the consensus among professionals remains clear. Adhering to established sleep safety guidelines significantly reduces risks and supports healthy infant development. While critics have voiced strong opposition to Jessa Duggar's decision, several supporters have come forward to defend her parenting choice, emphasizing the importance of parental autonomy and cultural context. Many argue that as long as a child's basic needs are met, and there is no evidence of neglect or harm, parents should have the freedom to raise their children according to their own beliefs and circumstances. In this case, some defenders suggest that Duggar's approach may stem from practical considerations, such as space limitations in the home, or a desire to create a controlled, distraction-free sleep environment for her toddler. They point out that minor modifications, such as ensuring proper ventilation, padding the walls, and removing potential hazards, could make the space just as safe as a traditional crib or bed. Additionally, proponents of Duggar's decision highlight the role of cultural and generational differences in shaping parenting styles. Within certain communities, including conservative Christian households like the Duggars, unconventional parenting methods are sometimes embraced as part of a broader commitment to simplicity. discipline, and resourcefulness. Some supporters note that alternative sleep arrangements, such as co-sleeping or repurposing household spaces for childcare, have been practiced across different cultures and historical periods without negative consequences. From this perspective, they argue that labeling Duggar's actions as inherently dangerous or inappropriate reflects a narrow, modernized view of parenting rather than an objective assessment of child welfare. Furthermore, some defenders express frustration over the intense scrutiny faced by public figures, particularly mothers, who are often held to unrealistic standards when it comes to parenting. They contend that while opinions on child-rearing practices will always vary, the decision ultimately belongs to the parents, provided there is no demonstrable harm to the child. By allowing for diverse approaches to parenting, they argue, society can foster greater acceptance of individual family dynamics, rather than imposing a one-size-fits-all model. Social media played a pivotal role in fueling the intense public reaction to Jessa Duggar's parenting choice, turning what might have been a private family matter into a widely debated issue. Platforms such as Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook enabled rapid dissemination of the photos, allowing users to share their opinions instantly and often emotionally charged responses. Hashtags related to the controversy trended within hours, drawing attention from both parenting advocates and critics alike. Influencers, bloggers, and everyday users contributed to the discourse, further amplifying the narrative surrounding the incident. This level of digital engagement ensured that the story reached a broad audience far beyond Duggar's usual followers, intensifying the pressure on public figures to conform to perceived parenting norms. One of the defining characteristics of online discourse is its tendency to polarize discussions, and this case was no exception. Comment sections and forums became battlegrounds where individuals passionately defended or condemned Duggar's decision, often without fully considering the nuances of the situation. Memes, satirical posts, and viral videos emerged, distilling complex parenting debates into simplified, emotionally driven content that reinforced existing viewpoints. The speed and volume of online interactions made it difficult for measured, fact-based conversations to take hold, leaving little room for balanced perspectives. Instead, the discourse frequently devolved into personal attacks, with critics accusing Duggar of negligence, while defenders criticized the public for excessive interference in private parenting matters. This incident underscores the growing influence of social media in shaping public perceptions of parenting. As digital platforms continue to blur the lines between private and public life, parents, especially those in the spotlight, are increasingly subjected to scrutiny based on subjective standards rather than empirical evidence. The viral nature of such controversies highlights how quickly public opinion can form and spread, often without sufficient context or expert insight. As a result, parenting choices that may seem unconventional but are rooted in personal or cultural reasoning can become sensationalized, reinforcing the notion that there is only one correct way to raise a child. The controversy surrounding Jessa Duggar's parenting decision raises broader questions about societal expectations, the boundaries of privacy, and the extent to which the public should hold celebrities accountable for their personal choices. At its core, the debate reflects the ongoing tension between individual parental autonomy and collective responsibility for child welfare. While some argue that parents should be free to make decisions based on their values and circumstances, others maintain that public scrutiny serves as a necessary safeguard to ensure children's well-being. This dilemma is particularly pronounced in cases involving high-profile individuals, whose lives are constantly under public observation and subject to judgment. Privacy rights also come into play, especially in an era where social media blurs the distinction between public and private spheres. Parents today face unprecedented exposure, as every aspect of their family life can be documented, shared, and scrutinized online. For celebrities like Duggar, This dynamic is even more pronounced, as their status often invites heightened criticism and moral policing. The question then arises, where should the line be drawn between legitimate concern for a child's safety and unwarranted intrusion into a family's private affairs? While transparency and accountability are important, there is a risk of normalizing excessive oversight that can lead to unnecessary anxiety and self-censorship among parents. Ultimately, this case illustrates the challenges of navigating modern parenthood in a hyper-connected world. As parenting norms evolve and societal attitudes shift, the balance between personal freedom and public responsibility remains a contentious issue, one that will continue to shape discussions around child rearing in both private and public domains.